Get back here! Get back here! Where are you going? We're talking internal, external magic. You might think an external magic user is more interesting because they can move things outside themselves. But it is not limited to external magic users. Internal magic users can actually summon a more powerful external force, and that would be that of influence over the true names of the other energy we share this existence with, such as wind, or light, or earth. An interesting thing about an internal magic user, like myself for instance, I am not as versed at external magic as one would hope. When it comes to things like telekinesis, I am weak sauce at very best. But when it comes to things like playing with the wind and being her friend, I'm a little bit more gifted. Now, another version of that magic that would manifest itself in the internal form, because I understand internally what wind is, I can understand what externally wind is. Though it may not be as powerful or nearly as impressive, it is still a force of wind created from inside. She's a mischievous one, and external wind are very closely linked, as you can see. When it comes to magic, your imagination is literally the limit. So if you can imagine it, it's probably possible. It really helps to know the guidelines that empower you. And what I mean when I say that, do you work with internal or external forces? What elements appeal to you? What is the true name of your mind and your heart? All of these things are going to give you a lot of information about yourself and the magic you should start exploring. However, like I said, there is no limit. If you can imagine it, you can probably magic it. When we're exploring the external and the internal worlds, we're going to find our sense of feeling and our memory incredibly important. Because these two worlds often interact and interchange and interplay with each other, we've got to be able to remember what a feeling feels like and be able to recognize it outside of ourselves or vice versa. Which sounds easy. It's a really easy thing to say, but not an easy thing to do. Believe me, I know. I've been practicing this for a long time. It's not just gonna set itself on your lap. And if it does, it's not gonna be easy to keep it there. I find magic is often quite a bit of a tug of war with my mind and the consciousness of those around me. Even though I may be existing in a different world, empowered and doing my own thing, that doesn't mean the world around me is too. Which brings us to another reason why it's important to know why we're internal or external processor. This will tell us how we should be saving our information. If I am mainly an internal processor, which I personally am, I should be trying to convert all of my magic and my information into an internal source and memorize it that way. If you're an external memorizer, you should be doing the opposite. Taking all of your information, manifesting it in an external source, and doing it this way. Both of these things are anchors. So think about it like this. External anchor, internal anchor. Under that tattoo is a pathway I've run of energy that creates a sigil network that does mystical stuff. Another beautiful internal magic, for example. When creating anchors, you're utilizing imprinting magic. And if you're internal or external processor, it's going to say a lot about how you do that. So far, we've been covering magics that empower your ability to distinguish where you are, what you're doing, and who you're interacting with. This is important because you're going to be able to find your way back to cool magics when you stumble upon them. Think about it like stumbling upon this cool swimming hole in the woods. If I didn't have a great memory and a great grasp of my external landscape, I wouldn't have been able to navigate my way back there. If you stumble into really cool magic, you're going to need to know, is it external, internal? What does it feel like? How can I memorize it? Can I assign it to an anchor? Go through the lessons. You know what to do. You've been empowered. You're waking up. Right now, I'm taking my internal knowledge and memories and I'm making them external. And you're taking this external knowledge and information and you're bringing it internal and making it your own, which is really the whole purpose of this magic exercise. You're not going to be able to copy the things I do. I can give you a blueprint and then you have to make it your own. Like I was just saying, the only limitations put on magic are the same limitations we put on our imagination. I hope you're starting to understand your internal and external landscapes a little bit, because they're incredibly powerful. And they really make navigating your world and locking in the information you're gathering so much easier.